Ooh, welcome to episode 75 of Two Guys, One Sport. We are officially 3/4 of the way to our 100th birthday. That's what we're calling it now. Exciting times afoot. Good evening. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Chris, I had Chipotle for dinner for the first time in a while. What is your go-to Chipotle order?
God, seeing as how I've only had Chipotle like twice, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. It's been a while too. The last time I actually had Chipotle, I was still dating my ex, so that would have been last summer, 2017. Okay. So like June, July 2017. I remember because we had gone out and done Pokemon Go walking, and then after we were done, I caught my last Cyndaquil that I needed to get a Typhlosion, and then we went and got Chipotle. And I don't even remember what it was I got. I just know that it was a burrito bowl of some sort, and it was messy.
Okay. Yeah, they generally are.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you have?
Yeah, I had brown rice, pinto beans, barbacoa, which is like the shredded beef.
Oh, I love barbacoa.
Yeah, it was quite good. Mm-hmm. A little bit of sour cream, a little bit of corn. I got corn with like a little spicy stuff in the corn. Yep. Green salsa. And then the key, you buy a thing of chips and you use the chips to dip in the thing,
into the burritos.
Dip in chips. Yeah, and then you got like, it's like a nacho with like barbacoa on it. Yeah, that's awesome. That is life right there. Yeah, not bad.
That's a winning combination. I dig that. I'm gonna have to do that next time. The thing that the Mexican place that I normally have been getting from lately is like Qdoba, because there's a Qdoba nearby.
Nice.
One of my friends, when he gets off work, he drives right past it. So if I'm hanging out over at my best friend's house, he'll pick up Qdoba on the way over, and we'll just eat Qdoba together, which is
not bad. I like their quesadillas. They have good quesadillas.
Yes, they're quite excellent. I haven't had good Mexican food in a while. Now that I think about it, though, it's been a hot minute, so I need to get something like that. Maybe this weekend I'll do that.
There's a taqueria kitty corner for me. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have dinner there tomorrow night.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah. I can do what I do best and go to the gym and then pass it on the way home and then be like, you know what? I earned this shit, and then get like enchiladas.
Yep, that's a win.
Like, I earned these enchiladas. I'm going for it.
Hell yeah! All right.
So what do we got?
Well, we've got the Hell in a Cell recap, some discussion about the fallout from Hell in a Cell, and don't be surprised if we editorialize a bit about that bit of nonsense, and updates on the Mae Young Classic, a little bit of a lead into Destruction in Kobe, and a look ahead to Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Programming reminder that we are not here next week. We are going to be off because both George and I have personal obligations that will have us away from our homes, so we will be off next week. But it's good that both Taker's Minion and Biff Kensington III are in the chat right now, because in 2 weeks we are going to be starting up a special event here inspired by Biff and Taker with what happened this past week on Connoisseurs of Wrestling. George, if you want to talk a little bit about what happened.
We did a all-time fantasy draft on Monday. Mm-hmm. We did 10 rounds Monday, 4 of us, Taker's Minion, Legends Lover, Biff Kensington, and myself. And then we just drafted wrestlers in eras. Mm-hmm. And we're building our own promotion. We did 10 rounds and more. And we're going to finish up our promotions all-time bookers and announcers and tag teams that are eligible, and women's wrestlers and cruiserweights and heavyweights and all sorts of fun. My promotion is basically Japan plus Steve Austin and Ricky Steamboat.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. Yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy. I have I went Austin, Okada, and Misawa as my top 3. So I am quite thrilled. Off the top of my head, I know Legends Lover went the British Bulldogs and then the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs back to back. Which is just like, that's just everything you want in late 80s awesomeness. Yep. Biff went, I think, Ric Flair and maybe I don't remember who we picked second. I'd have to remember. The Rock. Ric Flair and The Rock. Taker's Minion. Get this. Taker's Minion. You'd think he had the first pick. You'd think Taker's Minion would draft The Undertaker first, but he deked the shit out of us. He went Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens first, and then he got The Undertaker on the comeback.
Yep.
Yeah. So just when you think you know all the answers, they change the questions.
Indeed.
So we're doing the same thing, but we're limiting it to, quote, modern wrestlers.
Yep. It's the modern era fantasy draft, and the restrictions are basically that the wrestlers that are eligible have to have wrestled a match in the year 2018. Any match, any promotion, anywhere. But if they have not wrestled a match in the year 2018, you cannot draft them.
But for example, go on.
And ideally, if you like, I'm personally imposing this restriction on myself, but you guys don't have to if you don't want to. But my ideal scenario would be if you could pick people from 2000 or later. But you know, if that's not feasible, that is fine.
Well, there's not by default. There's not a ton of people whose career started before 2000 who wrestled a match in 1998, or excuse me, in 2018. In 2018, I mean, there's not a ton, off the top of my head. Taker, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Jushin Liger, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, like a bunch of old guys in Mexico, a bunch of New Japan dads. But I mean, there's maybe 5% of the talent pool.
Yeah. So and again, just like with the connoisseurs draft, it's going to be you pick their era that the person was in as well. So we're going to be, you can draft Undertaker from 2001, 2002 without having to worry about 2017 and 2018, which is nice. So the cast of characters is going to be myself and George, being joined by our good friends and fellow wrestling luminaries Don, Sal, and Mr. Dr. Senju. They will be coming in 2 weeks and 3 weeks from tonight. So that is October 4th and October 11th. We will be doing, just like Connoisseurs did, 10 rounds each night. And yeah, it's going to be a boatload of fun. I'm going to be I'm hoping to be blowing up people's draft boards early, because that's what I happened. Do. And we'll see how it goes.
It happened right away. I mean, you listen to our show from Monday?
I did. It sounded like
expletives were dropped.
Yeah, when Legend Lover picked up the British Bulldogs and everybody collectively lost their goddamn minds, it was quite a moment. I loved it.
I wanted to build my junior heavyweight division on the Dynamite Kid, and no thanks. Thanks for nothing, Legends Lover. Thanks. Thanks.
Well done.
My favorite all-time in the draft, and then we'll get on to our show, is I'm describing a wrestler, and Biff is like, I know who you're taking. And I'm describing a wrestler. He's like, I know who you're taking. I'm describing a wrestler, and I name it. Biff's like, I don't know who you're taking. Like, no, you don't.
I remember that moment too. Hang on, let me pull that up, because I want to. There we go. Connoisseurs of Wrestling. Okay, because I remember exactly what pick that was of yours, and Biff was like, I know it, and you were just like, nope.
I think it may have been Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, it was Ricky Steamboat. Yeah, and I think he was expecting you to take Bryan Danielson there,
and then I got him later.
And you end up getting him 2 picks later anyway, which is
my last 3 picks, and this should tell you how much talent is still on the board.
Yeah,
my last 3 picks were Bryan Danielson, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and AJ Styles. It's like, and there's still ungodly amount. I don't know if we're doing 10 rounds or 15. But either way, there's so, and I pick first, so you're gonna want to tune in right at the top of the hour, when we start. So,
Biff, you're planning on paying us off to be on the draft episode, really? Now, I mean, we could make it a 5-man pool if we really want to. Call the audible right here live on air.
I'm game.
All
Biff,
right,
you want to do it?
All right, Biff.
2 weeks from today, Biff. Keep your night.
If you want in, you got to be free both 2 weeks from tonight and 3 weeks from tonight. If you're in, then we'll lock you in there.
If you're in, we'll lock you in. Let us know when you get this. When the way YouTube works, when you hear about this 5 minutes from now, message in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also going to be you guys are doing just a straight line draft. We're going to be doing a snake draft.
Yeah, but if we're doing a snake, we'll determine the order sometime later.
Yeah, I'll RNG it, because that's what I do. Pick number 11 on Monday for Biff is going to make George cry. Really?
But Biff, my man Chris is my guru for this second half of this draft.
Oh, so, yeah.
Chris is my guru, but That's 2 weeks from today. What are we doing tonight, my friend?
Let's see. This is the thing, is like I really want to like banter about drafting because I don't want to talk about Hell in a Cell, but
I bet. Yeah, I mean,
I'll just end the banter bit by saying if I gave George some names that you'll cry upon seeing, Taker will cry even harder upon seeing. So be prepared. Be prepared, brothers. It's gonna be awesome. I'm streaming, so I won't be able to listen live. But I'll catch the follow-up broadcast so that I can listen to the screams of rage when George picks up people that you would never have expected him to know about. You must do this on your own, no outside help. Wow, really, Taker? Wow,
Taker, Biff. Wow, Chris is the Tom Hagen to my Michael Corleone. So, Chris is my wartime consigliere.
Yeah, I'm the inside man.
You're my wartime consigliere. You know what I'm saying? You're the guy flying out to LA to negotiate the deal with the pedophile producer. You know?
Yep.
My wartime consigliere.
Yep.
You notice how we don't want to talk about Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, but we have to.
I know we have to. But matches of the week.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have matches of the week.
We do. I have one.
I do too.
Do you want to go first or should I?
Well, does yours come from this week?
Mine is a repeat match of the week, but it's thematic.
All right, then you go first.
Mine is a repeat match. I'm 99% sure I've done this as a match of the week in the past episode of the show, but it's thematic, and I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
My match of the week is the very first Hell in a Cell from Bad Blood 1997, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker.
You have done this before, but it's always
one of the best matches. It is one of the best matches in the history of the WWE. Well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This match makes perfect use of The Undertaker and Michaels' personas because the dead man stalks Michaels the entire time, who's scared shitless. And Michaels bumps like a madman. I've said this before on the show, but I'm much more of a fan of pre-back injury Michaels than post-back injury Michaels. I think he relies a lot more on his athleticism and charisma and a lot less on weird acting stuff, selling and like, it's not that the post-injury Michaels isn't bad. It's just I prefer the younger Heartbreak Kid, you know?
Yep.
If MF and Biff hadn't drafted him, I was looking at picking him with Sister Sherry, but no. Biff had to go team old guy.
Yep.
So, where was I? I'm doing this. I'm doing my notes. So, both men put in awesome performances. Taker beats him and beats him and beats him and beats him and beats him, and it's great. You know I love a good beating, Chris.
Yep.
Cameraman gets bumped, so they have to get the cameraman out of the area. So they raise the cell. Shawn says, "Now's my chance to not get beaten." He runs away. Taker chases him back to the ring area. Shawn climbs the cage because he's like, "There's no way this guy is gonna be able to climb the cage." It's like climbing a tree to be saved from a bear. Like a bear is chasing you. I'm going to climb this tree because there's no way this bear is climbing this tree. Only to find out the bear and the Undertaker can climb the damn tree.
Yeah.
So hits him with Shawn bumps to the table. Great spot. Not very organic. Taker throws him back in the cell because he wants to damage him. Taker hits him with the big chair shot to tie the story together because, as you'll recall, this feud started when Shawn Michaels inadvertently hit The Undertaker at SummerSlam 97 with a chair.
Yep.
So because we did long-term storytelling back then, and we tied stuff together back then, Undertaker hits Shawn Michaels with the chair to come full circle.
Yes.
Then, that's got to be Kane. Kane comes down, led by Paul Bearer, and Kane rips the doors off the cell in a display of strength. Tombstones Undertaker. But wait, Chris, there's an MFing finish, even though somebody ran in the cell. Shawn Michaels gets on top of the Undertaker. 1, 2, 3. That's the theme of this episode.
Yep.
Even though someone interfered in the cell in the very first Hell in a Cell, they still had to finish.
Yep.
Because the referee's job was just to count the pin or record a submission. There's no contest. There's no bullshit. You know, Kane came in. He ripped the doors off the cell, just like the Viking did at this pay-per-view. but there was a finish because back then this company liked delivering finishes for its audience.
Yeah.
So
normally that's the way that's supposed to go.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. I mean,
yeah.
So yes, it's a repeat. No, I don't normally do repeats, but I was watching this Hell in a Cell, and I said, no fucking way. And I said, I have a match of the week. That's perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Again, if you haven't seen it, it's an awesome match.
Yeah.
Both men at their absolute peaks of playing their roles to perfection. Undertaker as the dead man, just like Jason in Halloween, never stops coming. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And Shawn Michaels as the chicken shit heel who flops around like a madman. So it's great match, especially because it has a finish intent. You know,
yep.
So
we'll come back to that. All right. Well, my match of the week is from this week, and it's actually it's ironic that you chose that because this is a match that did not have a finish. But this was thematically a way to orchestrate a match such that a match with a non-finish can still be excellent. And I am talking about this week's NXT main event, the title for title match between NXT North American champion Ricochet and WWE United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne.
I'm told this match is really, really great. But
this
go on.
Was incredible. Two guys who are also currently at the top of their game, delivering some of the best stuff ever. And this was a 20-minute match that delivered everything I ever would have wanted. Started out as a huge grapple fuck fest, shockingly enough. Ricochet delivering his versions of grapple fucking, but Pete Dunne largely holding control until Ricochet was able to start mounting his comeback and start pulling off some of his signature spots. Moment of the match, though. Moment of the match. I'm not going to give this the blow-by-blow because it really you need to just watch it to believe it, because Pete Dunne is at his absolute most vicious, and Ricochet is playing the fiery babyface better than I've ever seen him do before anywhere else, including Lucha Underground. This is his best fiery babyface match that I've ever seen from him. Moment of the match. Ricochet is up on the top turnbuckle near the hard cam left side. Pete Dunne is on the mat, but he gets up and charges over the turnbuckle. Ricochet flips over the top of him, lands on his feet, runs to the opposite corner. Dunne charges in after him, goes for a splash. Ricochet does the bit where you put your boots to the guy's chest and push him off. The guy goes backwards in a somersault. Ricochet rolls in for a Rolling Thunder DDT, which he had hit earlier in the match. So he does the somersault forward and jumps into the air to grab Dunne for the DDT. And Pete Dunne, this wily motherfucker, grabs Ricochet's right arm out of midair, picks the arm, and pulls him down into an arm bar. Like, the only person I've ever seen do a spot like that is Asuka. And Pete Dunne pulled it off so beautifully, and I had to go back and watch it again. As I was like, holy shit, what was that? It was incredible. Moment of the match right there. And they're back and forth, inside, outside, inside, outside. They're fighting their asses off. Both guys hit so many bombs on each other at the end that they were both just down and out in the middle of the ring. Right in time for the Undisputed Era to come in and start beating the shit out of both of them for reasons unknown, because why does it matter if there's a double champion? Because you would think the Undisputed Era would know that if there's a double champion, Adam Cole only having to beat one person for two titles would be, the more optimal outcome than having to beat two people each for a single title. But, whatever. It's the Undisputed Era. They're heels. They don't make sense. They come in, beat the shit out of Dunne and Ricochet. War Raiders come down, chase them off, and then chase them all the way to the backstage. And it's a disqualification, no title change. But stellar match all around. These two just killed it. And I have to say, this is probably the best match I've ever seen out of Ricochet. And I know I said that at the at the match that he had for the title at TakeOver Chicago. This is better than that match, because whereas in TakeOver Brooklyn 4, because whereas in TakeOver Brooklyn 4 it was Adam Cole being shithead slimy heel and just trying to avoid as much of Ricochet's offense as he could, Pete Dunne was actually bringing the fight to him and really, being aggressive. And I love when I get to see an aggressive guy. And I don't even want to call Pete Dunne a heel anymore, because this whole match, the crowd made this match 10 times better because of the fact that the whole match was dueling chants of bruiserweight, Ricochet, bruiserweight, Ricochet, sometimes just on top of each other, so you had no idea who was saying what. They were so into this match, and that made the match even better than it was. So definitely watch this match. Easily Ricochet's best match I've ever seen from him. And yeah, I mean, Pete Dunne, one of the 10 best wrestlers on the planet, showed why here. Can't say enough good things about it.
He will definitely get drafted in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Question for you about Ricochet. Are you done? I'm sorry, I don't mean to say.
No, yeah, I'm all done. Yeah.
There are not a lot of people who are better in the WWE than before they got to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ricochet one of them? Is Ricochet better now than he was a year ago or 6 months ago or whenever he joined?
I don't know if better is the right word, but he certainly is a more complete product, because you start at the end of his indie run and the end of his New Japan run, he was starting to show signs of, developing other facets to his game, a lot more selling, a lot more grappling, and other elements besides just the flippiness. But the flippiness was still the centerpiece of his in-ring work. Now it's more along the lines of the flippiness comes out when they need to accentuate a moment in the match. So it's more tasteful and more balanced. And it really works well to show that he does have a much more complete game and really is capable of delivering in other areas in the ring. So I would say better is still up for debate, but more complete is absolutely, emphatically yes.
That's valid. I can't disagree with you, to be honest. Like, he's always been very, very good, but I think he's a little more nuanced. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yes, that's an excellent word for it. All right, so those are the matches of the week, and now we have. I guess we should
talk about this show.
Yeah, which let me be clear. Not everything here was bad, but
no, I thought the first half was excellent.
A lot of it was bad, though.
Yeah, so I thought the first half, the pre-show match was very good. As you know, I'm Randy Orton's last fan, so I enjoyed Orton Hardy for what it was. Becky and Charlotte Flair was not bad; was actually good. The tag team match was exactly. The tag team match was very good.
Yes,
and then the show kind of fell off the metaphorical cliff a little bit.
Yeah. No, I the only one that I didn't catch. I didn't catch the pre-show tag team match. So
okay, pre-show match was good.
Okay,
I enjoyed it. All I could think, the New Day won. All I could think about is that there's an alternate universe where Rusev and Big E are main eventing shows. The people in that universe are better than people in our universe.
Probably
only because they get singles Big E.
Yeah.
This match was fun as hell. It was exactly what it needed to be. I bought the near falls. Not that English and Kofi Kingston were bad, but I thought Rusev and Big E were the stars of this match.
Yes.
I mean, it was probably the third best match of the night, second best match of the night. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pre-show match, but these four dudes know what they're doing. So
it's reasonable, yes.
3 people.
All right. Main card. Randy Orton defeats Jeff Hardy in a Hell in a Cell match. I was told that this match was going to be different than anything else that we'd ever seen from Jeff Hardy before by Jeff Hardy on social media. And I don't know if that's necessarily true, but this was definitely quite a spectacle. It was.
I don't like the red cell. Sorry.
It was a good show.
What did you think of the red cell?
I didn't like it.
You know what the problem with the red cell is? The red cell is fine on its own, but when you combine it with the red lights in the crowd and the red in the LED boards, a lot of red going on.
Yeah.
It's too much red. I get it. It's hell. It's supposed to be fire. Yeah, okay. And the cage itself looks safer. It looked because it was rubberized.
Yeah.
Which is always good. I don't need guys or ladies to be, being Irish whipped into an actual chain link fence when, it's wrestling. We can work it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we don't need that. I am all for that. And maybe you can, like, vulcanize it or rubberize it, not red.
Mm-hmm.
Like chrome colored. I'm sure you can chrome colored it.
Yeah, that would be optimal, yes.
But I thought it was I thought it was a little too cute. We're gonna have the red cell, which is gonna be like hell, har har har, Yeah, spot with Orton and the screwdriver was holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't have piercings. I have tattoos. I don't have piercings. And I know the ear is flexible,
yes,
because it's not bone, but it's like, Randy Orton on Instagram. I just got Instagram Saturday night for the first time. I took the plunge. Yeah, I was with the lady and a bunch of her friends. And George, you don't have Instagram? And I was like, no. And Katie's like, give me your phone. And she installed Instagram. And so, like, the first thing I ever saw on Instagram was Randy Orton's beat to shit body. Yeah, that he was posting after because I was Saturday night. I was kind of bummed. I don't fucking out with it, and I'm kind of sitting to watch this, Sunday, Monday, and I'm like, oh, let's see what's on this Instagram. Oh my god,
mm-hmm. This is not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's my introduction to Instagram. Is Randy Orton's like bloody, bruised up back. So,
oh my lord,
this match was a little long, but these men were just stiffing the crap out of each other. So it didn't feel long, if that makes sense. I mean, this match went like 21 minutes or something.
24:50.
Yeah, but it didn't drag.
Yes.
Maybe because they were just mauling each other. I don't know why it went 24:50. You could have told the same story in 15.
It's Randy Orton, so he's going to get a longer term match.
Yeah, but this match made the spreadsheet. I don't know, 3.5 maybe.
Fair,
something like that. Something like that. 3.5. Does that seem about right?
I mean, I went a little lower. I only went 3, but that's just because Jeff Hardy and his broken body flying around and leaving me cringing, wondering if he's broken something. And then the stretcher finish too was just like, really, guys, really? Like, of all people to do that with, you don't want to do that with the one person who you'd actually be legitimately concerned needs the stretcher. So that left me a little bit kind of.
Do you remember the Usos New Day Hell in a Cell match?
Oh yeah, actually, the funny thing about that is, how WWE, like, they'll do like the hype videos and stuff on their YouTube for each pay-per-view, and one of the ones that they did was the Usos and the New Day watching back their Hell in a Cell match from last year. And so I watched that, and their reactions to that match about mirror what my reactions are to that match, which is that it was a fucking stellar match, probably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that has ever happened, and they knocked it out of the park and set a pretty high bar for everyone else to follow.
I thought that the Usos New Day match was fantastic because they made use of the cell. Mm-hmm. This was a good match that just happened to take place in the cell.
Yeah,
similar to Roman Reigns and Rusev from last year.
Yes,
like Roman Reigns and Rusev was a good match. It's a very good match, but it could have been a good match if it wasn't in the cell.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Whereas New Day Usos would have not been a good match if you took away the cell, because the cell was like the 5th character, the 6th character in the match. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whereas this was just a good match that was surrounded with this big red thing. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter. It didn't matter other than a prop, which is what I talked about last week. Like, I hate that Hell in a Cell is now just another stop on the calendar. Like,
yeah.
It should be a feud ender. It shouldn't be just, it's September, time to have a Hell in a Cell match.
Like, yeah, that's one thing that that made last year's Hell in a Cell definitely better, was that it was the feud ender for Roman and Rusev, and it was the feud ender for the New Day and the Usos.
Mm-hmm. Or at least the feud ender for a little while.
Mm-hmm. But it put the exclamation point on it that it needed to have.
Yes.
So it made sense. Whereas here, well, we'll get to that.
So, yeah, I liked it. It was a good match. Long, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Stone Cold Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. I thought this never reached like fourth gear.
Yeah.
It never got to the level that the entire time watching it, I'm like, okay, let's ratchet it up a little bit. They had, and my favorite, Chris, these two had pull apart brawls on SmackDown, so we start with an MF and headlock.
Yeah.
This company needs an enema when it comes to how they put matches together.
Yeah.
You need just take the fire hose and just spray it all out the door and
bleach the whole thing. Just bleach it all.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a blood feud. So we're gonna start with a headlock. Like, come on, man.
Start over again.
Like the way this, you know what they need? They need agents from this era. All their agents are guys from the old times, and by old times I mean like the 80s and 90s. Wrestling's different, man. Just like wrestling in the 90s was different than wrestling in the 70s, and just like wrestling in the 70s was different than wrestling in the 50s, wrestling in the teens is different than wrestling in the 90s. Yeah. Just like baseball is, just like basketball is, just like football is. It all evolves.
Yep.
You know, everything evolves. So
Absolutely.
Get me a Ryusuke Taguchi, or not him specifically, but someone like him, or like a Rocky Romero, or someone like him. You know, like someone who is recently retired or semi-retired from the modern scene, who understands how modern matches work, and have them put matches together.
Yeah. Yeah, like trying to think of like the last time I've seen a match open up with just pure madness when it was a blood feud is normally when they do like a headlining feud, like Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, or a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Those are the ones that have opened up like a blood feud should. But anything else outside of that, they only open up with that kind of thing if they want to rush the match.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess in the sense that they were giving them time, it was a good thing that they didn't open up with just, you know, straight hockey punches. But by the same token, they could have easily maintained that level of intensity for the entirety of the match. They're two very talented performers.
You have the times in front of you. How long was this match?
Yeah. 13:50.
There's no excuse for why they couldn't have been in fourth gear from Jump Street.
Yeah.
This isn't Okada Omega where they're going 65 minutes and they got to pace themselves.
Exactly.
You know?
I don't know if it's still that old fear of the women upstaging the men or whatever the hell you want to call it. But either way, this should have been better than it was, but I will applaud them for at least getting the freaking storytelling right. Once again, like it wasn't nearly as bad as WrestleMania, where they just stumbled into the finish of Nia Jax beating Alexa Bliss, but at least they were perceptive enough to know if Charlotte wins this match, the whole freaking arena is going to riot. So at least they knew that well enough to do the right thing there and put the title on Becky and have Becky continue to be defiant and arrogant in the face of Charlotte for the following 48 hours as well.
Here's what I don't understand. Becky Lynch deserved this win. I mean, I'm biased. Look at my avatar. She doesn't deserve her big win being dragged on by a need to protect Charlotte.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, and we'll talk about this later on in the main event. I don't understand why you just can't have wrestler A beat wrestler B. You can, guys, I know this is breaking news. Spoiler alert, wrestling's fake. You can build up, if wrestler A beats wrestler B definitively, you can then use your television to rebuild wrestler B 6 months down the line. You can do that. I've seen it done. It's possible, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Always have everybody kind of muddle around in the middle. Like, have somebody, and I'm going to have this exact same rant again in about 20 minutes, Chris. So brace yourself. Have your champ beat someone's ass. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fucking work. You can do that, my friend. You set the direction of the story. This is your story. You tell it however the hell you want. You know? This isn't UFC where, oh man, we really want so-and-so to win, but oh shit, they just got punched in the face and now they're dead. That's what happens. You know?
Yeah.
In wrestling, it doesn't have to happen.
It's not hard.
You're making this hard on yourself. Just put someone over.
Yeah. and don't do it in a half-assed way either. I mean, Becky could have had the disarmer locked in, and Charlotte could have tapped, but instead they opted for a roll up out of nowhere, which harkens back to the worst period of the Divas era.
Yep.
And that's the thing that we need the least here for someone who you want to establish. Or actually, you know what? Strike that, because seeing a win like that just proves what we've been saying all along, which is that WWE doesn't care about establishing anybody that isn't Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, or Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
So giving Becky the surprise roll-up win out of nowhere. Oh, my God, what a surprise. Title change. She got the win, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, Dollars to Donut says that Charlotte gets the win at Evolution in a month.
Oh, 100%, yes.
So,
I mean,
it's not an easy. It's not a hard call to make. It's easy to say that you did that just because you wanted to give the fans what they wanted in the moment before you went right back to what you cared about more, and that's stupid. That's beyond stupid. The characters that the people want to cheer for continually getting geeked out, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't do anything for anyone. So
my favorite is, imagine doing a storyline, having it backfire on every possible level, like this storyline has. Having to change the storyline's direction in midstream, and then being thin-skinned and stupid enough to defend the original storyline on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
And then still try to reverse direction to go back to what you wanted the original storyline to be later on. Because did you see that segment on Tuesday on SmackDown?
What was I? No, I did not. What did I miss?
Okay, so Becky comes out to celebrate her win, gives her a little spiel to the crowd. The crowd is eating it up. They love everything that she's saying. Charlotte comes out, tries to offer Becky a sign of respect, like to shake.
Charlotte's the babyface here.
Yeah. Becky says, "I didn't let you raise my arm on Sunday because I didn't want you to steal my moment again. Well, I'm not going to shake your hand tonight, but you can raise my arm now." And then Charlotte, gives her little response, tries to show a little bit of attitude, and is like saying, "Oh, congratulations" to her in this really sarcastic tone, and says she won't raise Becky's hand now. And Becky says, "That's all right. I didn't really want you to raise my hand anyway. I want you to put the title around my waist," and raises her arms out to her sides to indicate for Charlotte to put the title around her waist. And Charlotte, turns and walks away, and Becky says, as she's turning and walking away, "Bitch." And of course, the crowd is all in for Becky showing attitude. And Charlotte turns around, smacks her, and sends her out of the ring. Chases after her. Becky sends her over the announcer's table, and then locks in the disarmer back again in the ring. Throws her back in the ring and locks in the disarmer on her. And you'd think in any normal scene where, it was a face-heel dynamic that people would be booing the shit out of the heel having the upper hand. But the crowd is chanting Becky's name with unbridled fervor. And they love every second of Becky getting this one-up on Charlotte. And every single person in there is down with what is happening. They love it. They need it. They want more of it. And Becky throws Charlotte's arms down, picks up the title, and walks out. And stands at the top of the ramp, raises the title, and the entire place erupts in cheers again. But Becky's totally the heel, guys.
Yep.
Charlotte's the babyface.
I mean, did you listen to the commentary during this match?
Yeah.
That tells you that they're telling the story that Charlotte is the babyface.
Yeah, but Byron trying to make it out like, Becky did something wrong the whole time. Graves, thank God. Graves was doing his best to go down the middle on it. And normally he is endorsing heel tactics. He wasn't outright doing that. He went down the middle and just called it as Becky looking for retribution for what was done to her. And he was helping to make it make sense. But Saxton the whole time playing it as was probably being dictated in his ear of trying to make Charlotte look sympathetic. Just saying, just no, just don't do it. Stop it. It's enough. Don't need any more of it because that's not what we want to hear. That's not what we want to see. That's not what we want to be told because that's not the story that we're looking for. And this is the case, honestly, where what matters is the story that the fans are looking for, not the story that they want to tell, because they can tell the story that they want. And in some cases, it'll eventually end up being well received. Look at Roman Reigns. Eventually, it wound up being well received, and it wound up working out for them. This is not a case where that's going to happen. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because it's not as if they can just throw a bunch of other people in front of Charlotte that the crowd will dislike more. Right now, Charlotte is basically persona non grata. The only person who is probably more disliked at this venture is Alexa Bliss. So Charlotte is basically persona non grata at this point among the women, as far as the fans are concerned. And it won't matter who they put in front of her. You know, you can put the Iconics out there. You can put Mandy and Sonya out there. You can put the Riot Squad out there. It ain't going to matter. Charlotte's still going to be getting booed because the fans are sick and tired of it. The story that they want to tell is not going to succeed in this moment, so they need to quit now. Sometimes hammering the nail in just doesn't get you past the concrete. So,
well said.
It's unfortunate because Becky's going to, as we said, is going to get geeked out in a month, but it is what it is. At least she had her moment there on pay-per-view, and it's all right. It's all right. Next, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defeated Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to retain the Raw Tag Team Championships.
I thought this was good, and then the finish happened, and I thought this was great. I thought the finish was awesome. I don't remember much of the rest of it. It was just cool spots. It was very PWG-like. And I don't mean that as a pejorative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The finish was awesome. The Claymore kick as Rollins went for the Falcon Arrow with Dolph landing on top.
Yeah.
That was
really well
clever.
Orchestrated. Very smart.
Really clever.
We'll come back to that one because that's something I have words about in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll come back to that one.
I want to do a bit of a mea culpa.
Okay.
I have been fairly critical of Dean Ambrose's in-ring work for a while. He has gotten better. I think the time off was good for him. He wrestled a shitload of matches in 4 years or 3.5 years, and I think he was worn down. Yes. And you could tell it here in this match because he was back to being the aggressive, caged animal Dean Ambrose on the apron and waiting for the tag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like the early Shield days. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I felt the time off was good for him. So Dean, on the very off chance you're listening, I got you. I apologize. So now that being said, a year from now, I don't want to have to call you out again. So you can. I know it's very tough to ask a guy to redline and to be aggressive and unstable, quote unquote, for 52 weeks out of the year. But I hope you can keep it up for a while, my friend.
Yeah, I think that it's actually going to end up being all right because it's very evident that there was a change in style from what he used to do versus what he's doing now, which is that there's a lot more aggression to it, but there's also a lot more pacing to it. And things that have a lot more meaning when he does them in the ring. He's gotten rid of a lot of the filler moves and a lot of the flim-flam that was just kind of taking up space. And he's replaced everything that was in that filler space with more emphasis on the bits that matter. So props to Dean for that and for making the little things work in this match especially. And props to Seth, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but props to Dolph as well, for the two of them selling like fucking dead people when they were downed.
I thought this was a very good match. Very good match.
Definitely was, I would say, the match of the night.
Yeah. But I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God. AJ Styles defeated Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship, but it was apparently a contested finish because away from the referee's angle, apparently AJ was tapping out to the coquina clutch while he had Joe's shoulders pinned to the mat, because why the fuck would we have a definitive finish when we have to make sure that the match happens in Australia? Fuck you!
You know, pay-per-views used to be feud enders. Now they're just feud chapters, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And are we going to have a definitive finish in Australia?
Oh, probably, because it's in front of an international audience, and that's what they care about right now. They don't care about America anymore.
But I'm saying in this match, maybe not. But I mean, it's, you know, whatever. I thought AJ looked good. At least I'd been worried about him.
Yeah,
you know, I thought he looked good. At least it felt like AJ was mad at Joe for Joe wanting to get on top of Mrs. AJ.
Yes, Wendy.
That's nice. You know, that's good.
Yep.
Shave some time off, and this would have been a better match.
Yeah. But this was a 19-minute match. It probably could have been done in 14.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It was. I hate that it was a stepping stone on the path to their next match.
Yeah.
And I hate that the title of Bruno and Hogan and Andre and Savage and Austin and Backlund is the mid-card title, and I hate that.
Yeah.
That I hate that, you know. So
it's terrible.
And I mean, we say this all the time, but AJ deserves better. Joe deserves better. You know.
Yeah.
But hey, at least AJ didn't start with a headlock, so that's good.
Yeah, that's definitely an improvement. Why? It's like the further down the card we go, the more I just want to vomit on it.
Told you. Beginning of this car, there was like a time it was like 7:45, 8 o'clock, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a really good show. And then at like 9 o'clock, I'm like, yeah, never mind. I was like, this could be like a show of the year. There's been like 3 awesome matches so far. This could be like a show of the year contender.
Nope.
And that being said, it's probably still the best main roster pay-per-view of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says a lot.
Says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Miz and Maurice defeated Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
Like, baby faces are stupid, and you know, and heels are cool. That's all that I'm hearing. The more that this dumb shit continues to play out, and the more that the Miz continues to be allowed to look like he's some sort of amazing friggin' genius with his underhanded tactics, the more I just want to vomit and turn off my TV and turn off my computer and just never watch anything having to do with this again, because this should not be happening. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. They've played out this story so many times, and even though in the end Miz ends up getting his comeuppance, it doesn't matter if 90% of the way along the way he ends up coming out on top.
I mean,
it doesn't fucking matter if all you're going to do along the way is make your guy who's supposed to be the one that people root for look like a fucking moron. I was about to say something really bad in my lack of self-control. Sorry about that. But
I gotcha.
It's really irritating that the promotion that was once the smartest babyface promotion in the world is now going out of its way to make literally every single one of its babyfaces look like a goddamn idiot, just in service to the cultural phenomenon of villains are cool. Go bite one off, Vince.
Chris,
swear to God.
Chris, you're not wrong. Ask WCW, it's like when you make your villains look cool. It's short-term gain and long-term failure. Like, I don't know. Every single time Maurice did anything in this match, it was very bad. Everything she did was bad.
Yeah.
And I don't even blame her. She shouldn't be in this match. She's not a wrestler.
No.
Like, you have Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever. He's one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time. He's in his prime. He's like, what, 35, 36, whatever? You know? He's in great shape. He still knows how to tell a story in the ring. And this is the shit you're wasting with him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of those internet fans who says, Dan, you should be the champion for 5 years. That's garbage. But
no, that's stupid as hell.
Can we at least get compelling matches?
Yeah. Give me a story that is not going to make me wish I was watching something else.
You know where this goes.
Every time we get one of these storylines where Miz is triumphant over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, just makes me want to watch something else, because I don't need to see the hero getting their ass kicked through 90% of a program. You know what makes epic moments in storytelling of hero versus villain good is when your hero has their moment when they look like they're going to be triumphant, the villain snatches it back, but then the hero still keeps coming back for more. But it's not done in a way such that the villain always looks like they have the upper hand no matter what. If you let the villain be triumphant but make them leave bloodied and bleeding and not, wholly intact, that gives you hope. Every time that The Miz faces somebody and he comes out on top, all of his underhanded dirty tricks completely override every moment during the matches where he might be looking like he's down and out. Every moment during the matches where he looks like he's down and out gets erased, because in the end, he still has got the win. And that's because we have gaps between the fights. That's the difference. This isn't like watching a Marvel movie where the fight lasts for 45 minutes and it's a constant back and forth. No, this is fight happens, The Miz wins, then we have a long break where The Miz is on top. And then we have another fight that happens, the hero starts looking like they're coming back, and then The Miz wins, and then we have a long break again where The Miz is on top. And it keeps going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But the large chunks of time are spent with Miz being in control and dictating the pace of things and dictating the terms of things and looking like the guy who is always going to get the upper hand no matter what happens. And in the end, the hero only wins because of some extremely specific turn of events that would have been required to happen in order for them to finally get their victory. And then in the end, The Miz comes out looking the same as he ever did, and doesn't matter because the next guy that he goes to, he's going to end up being over on top of them 90% of the time until, again, another very specific set of circumstances happen and he finally loses. It's like, you tell the same story every time and the same guy is on the top every time through bullshit. Why should I care about the guy who's supposed to be the good guy if 90% of the time he's going to look like a loser?
You know how this... I'm calling my shot here. You ready?
Yeah.
Miz will lose to Bryan in Australia. Cost Bryan his eventual title match against AJ Styles. Miz will then beat AJ for the title. Bryan will win the Royal Rumble and beat Miz at WrestleMania.
That's 7 months from now?
Yeah.
Why should I give a shit if that's what? Why should I give a shit about anything that happens with Dana Bryan over the course of that much time?
You shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Chris,
for a guy who's supposed to be one of the best wrestlers of all time.
WrestleMania is like down the street from your apartment and you're not going to go.
No.
And I don't blame you.
This is a guy who galvanized an entire stadium in New Orleans and had them all chanting yes and raising their arms up when he got his moment of triumph. And you're going to make him look like some sort of fool to the fucking Miz? The glorified actor?
You know it.
Who took all that time off in the ring to go film the Marine 6? Really?
You know it.
This is why I hate every guy and every girl who's a fucking mark for the Miz on Twitter, and why I hate seeing all that shit, because it's like, what is exactly the point of this? He doesn't look smart. He doesn't look like he's some sort of, mastermind. He just looks like an asshole. And in a world where assholes come out on top 90% of the time, and we look to wrestling as our escape from assholes coming out on top 90% of the time, when Miz is bringing us right back to that reality week in and week out and week in and week out, why should I care? Why should I want to watch? I'm not looking to wrestling to bring me back to the popular culture scene and the world news scene where the bad guys are winning all the damn time. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I get enough of that. I don't need it in my wrestling. Get it the hell out. And again, this is not like the Miz is some grand luminary figure. We're not talking about The Rock here or Stone Cold joining the corporation or anything like that. We're not talking about any of that shit. We're talking about the fucking Miz here. The real world contestant. Get it off my TV. I'm done.
You're not wrong. I make it a habit of not disagreeing with you when you're not wrong. That may have been one too many negatives, but you know what I mean.
I know. I got you.
So, Chris, you're not a UFC fan?
Not so much. No,
casual, right? At best.
Yeah, I know names of people.
Okay. Let me tell you about a woman named Ronda Rousey, real quick.
You talk. I'm going to take 2 seconds here to switch my desk back to sitting and grab some water.
Sure. Let me tell you about
after that rant, I dried myself out a bit.
Yeah, you're good. Let me tell you about a woman named Ronda Rousey real quick. You may have heard of her. She's your current reigning and defending Raw Women's Champion. You know how she got massively over, ladies and gentlemen? She walked out with a hood and a pair of headphones and armbarred bitches in the first round and got really over. That's all you have to do to get Ronda massively over. Instead, we have a 12-minute match where she was selling her ribs 3 minutes in, which asks the question, why didn't she just beat Alexa in the 3 minutes before she had to start selling her ribs? Ronda coming out on the ramp smiling like a little kid who got an autograph from their favorite athlete. I hate it, Chris. I hate it. I want the badass Ronda Rousey. I don't want this smiling, I'd like to wrestle Ronda Rousey. What are we doing here, man?
12 minutes for this match was just
11 minutes too long.
It's a crime.
11 minutes too long.
Crime.
What are we doing?
And it's not even like the extra characters came into play here.
No.
It's like Natalya was in Ronda's corner, Alicia and Mickey are in Alexa's corner, and they're just there for window dressing so that they can get a pay-per-view paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I would have liked?
Anything?
Take 11 minutes off this match. Take 5 minutes off the Randy Jeff match. Take 5 minutes off, or 3 minutes off the AJ Joe match. And put the Cruiserweight title match in there between Cedric and Buddy Murphy. Put that match in right there and let them just have themselves a hellacious sprint for the Cruiserweight title. Because that would have been fucking awesome. That would have been a nice jolt in the arm, nice wake-up call for this crowd that was already dead watching this drivel. It's abysmal.
Yeah, it was. Also, this trend of Ronda yelling remarks during her matches needs to stop happening too.
Mm-hmm.
That's cringe city, man.
She's not a trash talker. That's just a bad plan.
No. Show up, beat the shit out of some bitches, go home.
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
not hard,
guys. You can. It's like they forget that they control the narrative. It's wrestling.
Yep.
Ronda got over in the UFC where it's ostensibly a shoot by killing people. Why can't she get over in wrestling by killing people? Just because this is the same thing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is too good of a seller, so they have him sell. Roman Reigns should never sell. Ronda Rousey should never sell. They're too good at selling, so they say, "Oh, it's fine, they'll sell." Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, Biff. That is a good point.
Yeah, but you're right though. Nobody wins in their hometown.
Yeah. It is WWE, right? And everybody loses in front of their family.
Yeah, that's how it is. But like, just because you're all everything babyface can sell doesn't mean they should, Chris.
No, not at
Less
all.
is more, man. Less is more. So
that's a smart way to do it.
I will say this: Ronda yelling "grr" was funny as hell, and I don't think that was their point. But I was like, yeah, no, what are we doing? You know,
awful.
Yeah, just glad to see my girl Alicia Fox get a payday.
Yeah,
I like her.
Alicia is definitely
Alicia looking like a cosplaying like Central American general / stripper. It was like, all right, cool, you go, girl. You know, someone on Twitter called her a bourgeois military queen general. I was like, yeah. All right. It's like Fidel Castro meets a pole dancer in terms of outfits. I was like, you know what? You kick ass and take names, Alicia. You all right? No, good for her. And I'm being 100% sincere. I'm glad that she got a payday.
Yeah, but she deserves it. She absolutely does. So,
you want to have the conversation about Ronda Rousey's makeup, or you just want to move on?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I care, but I just
listen. We've said enough. I've certainly, I don't know if you have, but I certainly have said enough on social media about how much the Glam Squad needs to be taken out back and shot.
Yeah,
but
I'm a broken man
because you know WWE is intent on doing literally everything possible to belittle their women in the eyes of the audience, even down to these small things. Yeah. So, not much we can do about it, unfortunately.
Onward and upward, or onward and downward.
Yeah, downward, especially given what happens next here. Let's talk about this. So you and I both have words about this, about problems.
You want to go first, or should I?
I'll go first here.
By all means.
Yeah. Because I'm going to talk about how they could have avoided this, and you're going to talk about why this is bad.
Sure.
So, and I'll full disclosure, what I'm going to say is taken from an idea I read elsewhere, possibly on Twitter, possibly on elsewhere. I'm not sure where, but either way. So Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman fight for the Universal Championship inside Hell in a Cell with Mick Foley as a special guest referee. And they're fighting for a good 15 minutes or so. And both of them wind up passed the hell out on the floor in the middle of the cell. Mick, for whatever reason, is checking on both of them to see if they can continue. Well, they have to continue because it's a fucking Hell in a Cell match. And I'll come back to Mick Foley later. So Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler are outside then, and they're busting it out and brawling and, getting on top of the cell and fighting. Dolph and Seth go through tables, and it's carnage. It's chaos. And then Brock Lesnar appears. Because of course fucking Brock Lesnar would appear. Because, can't stay home in Saskatchewan for long.
The Saudis backed up the Brink truck for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Hey, props to you, Brock. Take that paper. If they want to pay you to show up, show the fuck up. Just what in God's name is going on? But go on. The Saudi fucking money marks, man.
Mm-hmm.
they said, we want Brock Lesnar on our show. Here's a number with a lot of zeros at the end of it. Make it happen.
Here's a seven-figure check.
Here you go. We're giving you $50 million every time you do one of these stupid ass shows. You're bringing us Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
Brock Lesnar comes out, And Paul Heyman is yelling at the ref to open the door. Because if he doesn't open the door, Brock's going to have to pull open the door. And the ref is, saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. And what do you know? Because Heyman said it would happen. Brock pulls the goddamn door or kicks the damn door down. And, throws it up against the ramp, the ropes. Foley comes out, and for whatever reason, instead of, trying to, obviously Foley's not going to try and hold Brock back. Foley is way too broken to try and hold Brock back. But Foley, for whatever reason, goes and starts yelling at Heyman. Heyman sprays him with the pepper spray because that's apparently now Heyman's thing, is pepper spray because reasons. And Brock scales the door to get himself into the ring. F5's Braun Strowman. F5's Roman Reigns on top of Braun Strowman. Does his stupid fist pump pose and scream and walks out. And then another ref comes down while Foley is incapacitated because he's been blinded by pepper spray. And that ref checks on these two guys who have both each taken a single F5. A single F5, remind you. A single F5 each. And deems them both unfit to continue and calls the match. Let's talk about just exactly what is the logistical nightmare of this. So Roman and Braun down and out while their partners and stablemates are brawling outside the cell for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. For those keeping track at home. Wait. I actually have to do math here. Crap. For those keeping track at home. Yeah, no, that's 420 seconds. You're going to tell... wait. Did I do that right?
7 times 6.
7 times 60 is 420. Yes, I did do that right. Okay.
You're fine.
420 seconds. You're going to tell me that two men in prime physical condition who have been up to that point only wrestling for about 15 minutes and have not taken that many great impacts. I mean, yeah, there was some involvement of kendo sticks and some chairs and a table, but not to like a huge degree such that they would have been, destroyed by that point. You're going to tell them that even after 7 minutes, neither one of them could even manage to get to their feet? When we've seen these two guys go for marathons against each other and against others?
One guy drove an ambulance with the other guy in it into a wall, and the other guy got out and staggered away. One guy has tipped a truck over onto another guy, and the guy has gotten out and staggered away. You're telling me a table spot incapacitates him for 7 minutes?
Yeah. That's number one. It's number one. Number two, you're telling me that these guys, who both have faced Brock Lesnar in the past and have shown moments of dominance over Brock Lesnar in the past, that one F5 apiece managed to take these guys out completely after 7 minutes of rest, especially? Really? Inconvenient memory about history that WWE wants us to have aside? Even that just seems a little bit odd to me. And third, here's the one that I think you're going to like the most. Brock Lesnar F5'd Braun Strowman, and then F5'd Roman Reigns on top of Braun Strowman.
That looked like it hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, except
but go on.
Here's the thing. WWE has a writing staff of 30 fucking writers. Why the fuck did not a single one of them think, oh, if Roman gets F5'd on top of Braun, he should just lay out on top of Braun, and then the other ref can come down and count 3 and raise Roman's hand, and we can have an actual fucking finish to a Hell in a Cell match that's only supposed to end by a pinfall or submission.
Which your announcer said at the start of the match.
Yes.
Michael Cole said this match can only end via pinfall or submission.
JoJo said it on the mic to the crowd before the match, that the match can only end by pinfall or submission.
This company. I love this company. You know, I love them.
You're going to call it a no contest?
Yeah.
That's now in canon. That is now in canon, by the way.
I love this company.
There's only ever been one non-finish to a Hell in a Cell match before, and it was via shenaniganry.
Yeah, Vince Russo booked it.
Yeah.
That's your template, guys. That's your role model here. Vince fucking Russo.
Yeah.
So
this is now a moment where it has officially happened that a no contest has happened inside of a Hell in a Cell. And it's all in service to making fucking Brock Lesnar look good.
It's all in service because this feud must continue. This whole show is this feud must continue.
Until fucking Saudi Arabia. Crown jewel of my ass.
Because they backed up the Brinks truck, man. You know, did you see on Twitter where there was a minor uproar when Stephanie said we listen to our fans?
Oh yeah.
We listen to our audience. Well, you know what? Let me defend her. She's not wrong. They do listen to their audience.
They just don't fucking care.
No. You and I, my friend, are not their audience. You know who their audience is? Fox Sports and USA is their audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but let me talk about the match, and then I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I thought this was easily the worst match that Reigns and Strowman have had together.
Yeah.
It was plotting, to say the least. And it was basically a giant walk-and brawl in a confined space.
Yeah.
And then they took a nap. Maybe the Benadryl was slow acting and it kicked. It is allergy season. Maybe they took Benadryl before the match and it kicked in and they had to take a nap. I don't know. But like these guys have literally driven trucks into each other.
Yep.
You know, like what? And they've been fine. And now they're taking a fucking nap. So it's just the whole thing is just preposterous, my friend. Why can't they just put someone over? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like why can't they just say this is our champion, this is our number 2, we're putting you over? You know? I don't understand. Like what am I missing here? Is this passed me by?
No. If anything, the business has passed Vince McMahon by, and he's just too rich to be willing to admit it. It is a travesty that we have to have both of these guys, who are the two. They are at this point the 1A and 1B on Raw. That is a fact at this point. Reigns and Strowman are the two guys that the crowd is most invested in. Rollins is a close third because he, throws his life on the line every single week to have an awesome fucking match, and kudos to him for doing that. But all the same, Reigns and Strowman are the 1A and 1B on Raw, and we have made both of them look like idiots because the human rights nightmare that is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia decided to write a check of 7 figures to Vince McMahon and say, we want Brock Lesnar on this show. And Vince said, okay, we signed a 10-year deal, and you know what? If you're just going to keep throwing money at us even after signing that 10-year deal, I'll cut my own nuts off for you if that's what you want me to do.
Yeah. But, Chris, we're not the audience. When Steph talks about her audience...
Yeah, she's talking about the shareholders.
Yeah, well, not even that.
And the broadcasters.
It's, her audience is USA, Fox, Facebook, the Saudi royal family, the people putting on the show in Australia, Snickers, Subway, KFC, Mattel, Skittles. That's the audience. Chris, you go to a show and you pay $40 for a ticket. That's cute. It's nice. But when Fox pays $1 billion, that's a lot nicer, right? You buy a T-shirt, you buy a Roman Reigns T-shirt or Becky Lynch T-shirt or whatever. That $30 T-shirt, swell. That's really cool. But when the Saudis drop $45 million per event, that's a lot cooler. You know, in the past, the audience was the fans because house shows mattered and pay-per-views mattered. But now the audience is Fox and KFC and the Saudis and the Australians and whomever else. It's that simple. When you're an indie trying to get 250 people to pack your bingo hall, you listen to your fans because they're the ones who pay your bills.
Yeah.
But if an entity comes along with much more money, they're the ones who listen. That's the audience that they're producing content for. So when the Saudis say, jump and be our propaganda wing and talk about how great this place is, despite the fact that we're beheading homosexuals, right? You say, okay, we'll just put on a women's wrestling show 5 days before to distract everybody because we're so progressive. Pay no attention to the fact that we're in bed with these oligarchs, right? Like, that's their audience, Chris. You and I and the people in this chat and the people in the building in San Antonio, they're not the audience. They're not the ones who matter to them.
Yep.
Like, so, hey, I mean, they're the ones making the money, but you know, I don't mean to proselytize, but you know, one day, man, we'll all be standing there in front of the gates, and we'll all have to answer for everything we did. So,
yeah,
that's it. Like, and you know, there's a guy who's a lot smarter and a lot wiser and a lot more powerful than me, and he's going to say, "What did you do to make the world better?" And all the money I make ain't gonna mean a damn thing when that judgment comes, you know. So,
yep.
So that's their audience, and it's not us. And that was Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
I just can't put this guy over. Just put him over.
Yeah,
Just put him the fuck over. I'm not even a fan of his, and I'm saying put him over.
Yep.
Like, I don't got it, you know? It's just, yeah. Well, I hope
man,
I hope your oil money's worth it. I hope it's worth it. So,
and now we have literally. I mean, I already didn't have a reason to tune in for Monday nights, but now I have even less of no reason to tune into Monday nights because what do we got now? We're right back to where we were heading into SummerSlam. We're gonna have a month of promos of Roman yelling at Braun, and Braun yelling at Roman, and both of them yelling about Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman showing up to speak the same promo that he has been speaking for the past 4 years that has now become the most tired and overdone adage that the WWE has in their playbook. And literally nobody is going to care. Literally nobody. Give me Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler in WWE. Give me a reason to care about this.
You shouldn't. You should.
Exactly.
You know, Chris, I'm going to do you one further. Blank is my favorite wrestler in WWE. Give me a reason to care about them.
Yeah.
Remember I said about 3-4 months ago when Io Shirai and Keith Lee signed? I said, get out of your heads. Get out of your heads that Io Shirai and Keith Lee are going to save this company. Get out of your heads that Indy signing X, that Kenny Omega and the Bucks or Cody or whomever, Marty Scurll or Adam Page or anybody is going to save this company. Get that out of your heads, man. Like, if you want to be like my dad and go home after a long day's work and watch Monday Night Raw because you like watching professional wrestling, God bless. God bless. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know, you're a grown-ass man, a grown-ass, you can do what you want. But, like, the way this company presents professional wrestling is not what I want out of professional wrestling. There's so much out there to watch that I like that, I don't know, man. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown. I get the highlights. I read reviews the next day. If there's something cool, I'll check it out on Hulu. But I don't know, man. I can't get invested in this stuff. I can't.
And you shouldn't.
Why should I? Exactly.
I watch I watch NXT and the Mae Young Classic this week. And apparently the mix. I don't know if 205 Live. I don't know what happened with 205 Live this week because I tried to watch 205 Live last night, and for whatever reason it wasn't there.
Huh.
I don't know.
On Wednesdays now at like 6, right? Or 7 your time?
Oh, they changed the time slot. Oh,
okay. I think it goes 205. When does the Mae Young comes on after NXT, right?
Yes.
So I think it's 3 hours. I think it's 205 Live, NXT, the Mae Young in a row. So I think 205 Live is the hour before NXT. I didn't watch it yesterday because I had to go to the dentist, so I missed all that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get some dental work done, so I missed all that shit. I'm gonna watch a ton of it. I'm gonna watch it all tomorrow. You know, but yeah, I mean,
I don't have a reason to tune into the main roster, and almost nothing that anybody can say will give me a reason to tune into the main roster. And again, some of my absolute favorite performers are on that main roster.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of people. I'm gonna take a moment here to proselytize on wrestling Twitter. There's a lot of people on wrestling Twitter who, in their tiredness of people complaining about wrestling, will say, "Whatever happened, just sitting back and enjoying it." Well, give me something to sit back and enjoy, because this was not it. This show was not something that you can tell me to just sit back and enjoy, because I would be hard-pressed to tell you after that tag team title match that there was anything that would be enjoyable there. There was nothing. There was nothing to quote-unquote sit back and enjoy. You know, I said before, wrestling is supposed to be my escape. Well, you're doing a shitty job of giving me an escape right now, WWE, and you've been doing a shitty job of it for quite a while now. I don't have a reason to tune in, and it's not just because Roman Reigns is being booked to look like an idiot. It's because everybody's being booked to look like an idiot, except for the one guy who's sitting at home in fucking Saskatchewan, who's waiting for the time that he doesn't have to report back to Vince because he's got Dana White on the phone.
Yeah.
Cut me a fucking break here. I get the sentiment. I really do. I get the sentiment. I really fucking do. And there was a time when I would have said the exact same thing. But that time has passed now, because it's no longer a case where I can just sit back and enjoy it, because there's nothing there that is giving me any sense of good feeling about what's happening. Nothing. So, yeah, I don't know what they want from us anymore. I really don't. But whatever it is that they want, they're not succeeding at making me want to give them. So, yeah. Let's talk about some good wrestling. Let's talk about some good wrestling.
By all means, my friend.
All right. So this week's episode of the Mae Young Classic happens. I'm only going to talk about one match here. There were 4 matches. I'll briefly summarize. The opening match of Caitlyn versus Kavita Devi, as could be expected, Caitlyn got the win because.
How did she look?
Pretty good. You know, Caitlyn was never exactly a genius in-ring competitor, but she definitely looked competent and looked like she was ready to be back in the ring. She didn't have any spots that made me cringe. And overall, I thought that it was a very well executed match. I still think that her spear is a little bit subpar, but you know, I've been spoiled by 4 years of Roman Reigns spears, which is the best spear in the business. So I mean, you know, can't fault me there for judging against the best ever. But that is what it is. But yeah, Caitlyn definitely brought it, and she looked pretty good in her return, and I'm confident that she'll fit in nicely when she makes her inevitable return to the main roster. The third match, I'm skipping the second match. The third match was Karen Q versus Xia Li. Very, very interesting structure to this match. Bringing the whole thing of them both being Chinese, and having Chinese backgrounds into things. Bringing in the martial arts bows and such. Very interesting structure. Xia Li has definitely improved by miles from last year's Mae Young, and Karen Q is still quite excellent. And yeah, great match, a lot of fun, and Xia got the win. With a huge corkscrew roundhouse kick. She does the like Will Ospreay does the Robinson special. It's almost like that, but not with the full rotation before the kick. It's only a half rotation, or Will does 2 rotations before the kick. Because I only did 1, but
only quote.
Yeah, only 1. But still very, very impressive work, and I enjoyed that match. Allison Kay versus Mia Yim was your main event. I felt like this match could have been better. It felt like there were some moments where it was a little bit slow, but this was also Allison's first match back after taking a long time off from injury. And overall, I think that there was definitely some ring rust in effect for her, but still, the two of them did a very good job. I don't think that this should have been the main event, though. Second match on the show should have been the main event. And that was Toni Storm versus Ginny. Holy shit, George. Holy shit. 4.5.
Whoa.
Easy.
All right.
Easy 4.5.
Toni Storm's pretty fucking awesome.
And Ginny was the star of this match.
Really?
Yeah. Ginny was the goddamn friggin' goddess in this match. She was so nasty and so vicious with everything that she did. She looked like she was trying to break Toni in half. Legitimately awesome to watch. And Toni, for her part, delivered on the stellar performance that we always expect from her, because she is one of the best in the world. Reverse surfboard submission move by Ginny. This was incredible to watch. Ginny comes off the ropes. Toni comes charging in. Ginny slides under between her legs, gets her arms up, grabs Toni, pulls her down by her leg, grabs her around the knees, pulls her down face first onto the mat, then reaches forward, grabs Toni's arms, and starts just wrenching back on her in a reverse surfboard lock. Absolutely fucking brutal to watch. Incredible hold. The finish to the match. This is going to end up being a match of the week for me this week. At some point in the future, it's going to end up being a match of the week for me, because this was just incredible to watch. But the finish to the match, they were trading blows back and forth, and Toni finally got her comeback in with an absolutely stunning looking German suplex that basically folded Ginny in half against the back turnbuckle. Then hit her with a hip attack, and finally hit the strong zero for the win. Seamless transition of moves. Absolutely incredible.
Okay.
You need to go and watch this match. Unless somebody next week on the Mae Young Classic pulls an absolute fucking barn burner out of their asses, this is the best match of the first round, which is what I expected. But yeah, I mean, I'll reserve judgment until next week, obviously. But yeah, this was something else, man. I
look forward to it.
It's well worth the watch. And
I look forward to it.
Let me just go through next week's episode. The last week of shows for round 1. Next week we have Hiroyo Matsumoto versus Rachel Evers, Tainara Conti versus Jessie Ellabin, Nicole Matthews versus Isla Dawn, and Io Shirai versus Xia Brookside. So
I'm here for that main event because Io Shirai is what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. So next week's episode definitely won't be any slouch, but unless somebody just pulls a complete shocker out, because no disrespect to Xia Brookside, but she's not quite exactly the caliber of competitor yet at the age of 19 to be able to pull out a 4-star match with Io Shirai. I'm sure it'll be good, but I don't expect it to be, a 4.5-star classic. But unless one of those matches is an absolute barn burner, I fully expect that Toni Storm versus Ginny is going to be the best match of round 1.
I'll check it out tomorrow.
And it's saying something when I can put that match above Meiko Satomura versus Killer Kelly, because that was a fucking stellar match too. But this one, just a step above. Well worth the watch. All right, let's talk about some New Japan now.
Sure.
We got 2 shows to talk about, and then we're going to get out of here real quick.
Sure.
Destruction in Kobe coming up this Sunday, 1600 Japan Standard Time. So that'll be, I want to say, like 3 a.m.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Major things happening on this event. Not too much that's needing to be written home about, but a couple of things that are going to be kind of interesting. Chucky T and Beretta are back in New Japan for a limited run, and they're going to be facing off against the Killer Elite Squad. So the Chaos versus Suzuki Gun rivalry continues to be ongoing. So we'll see how that goes. Then we have a very cool looking LIJ versus Suzuki Gun 6-man. Sonata, Evil, and Tetsuya Naito versus Taka Michinoku, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki. Should be a lot of fun. Then we have your semi-main event. The first of 2 semifinals in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship tournament. This one is Kushida versus Bushi. Very interesting pairing.
Yeah, it is. Two conflicting styles. I think it could be a good match.
Definitely will be a good match. And then we have a preliminary match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at the Tokyo Dome where Tanahashi's facing Okada again.
Yeah, baby.
That's your main event.
Yeah, buddy. For the briefcase,
baby.
Right?
I believe it is for the briefcase. So that's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And then, since we are not going to be having a show next week, we might as well give you your preview for Fighting Spirit Unleashed. That's the name of this show. Taking place at the Long Beach Walter Pyramid out in California on Sunday, September 30th. Starts at 5 p.m. California Standard Time, or Pacific Standard Time. And this is what we have on the card so far. Only 3 matches, but
baby.
Still going to be 3 excellent matches. I'm excited already. We have Juice Robinson defending the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship versus Cody. A reprise of their match from Wrestle Kingdom 11, which was not the greatest match, but these are 2 very different guys now. Juice Robinson is
so much better.
Fully fleshed himself out and become so much better. Cody has defined his character a hell of a lot more, and I think it should be a really good match. This next one, I am beyond excited for.
What you got?
Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
I mean, I've heard of them.
They are defending the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, the Gorillas of Destiny.
I've heard of them too.
This is going to be...
They should lose those belts.
Yeah, they should lose those belts, and this is going to be a barn burner of a match. Let me tell you.
I mean, you can make a case that you could have made a case last year. In fact, we did make a case last year that the Young Bucks were not the best tag team in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're back to being the best tag team in the world. And the Guerrillas have been a force of nature since wrecking the Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm. Since the last California show.
Yeah, had a great G1. I think they went, like 8-0 on the undercard or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened for a reason. The Guerrillas are winning this match, and they should.
As they should.
As they should.
And they are both still strapped with the 6-man titles as well. So making them be double champions right now is a great way to continue this this Bullet Club OGs versus the Elite feud. I love it.
It's a cool visual. I like it. I like when they have multiple belts, like Zack Sabre, Zachy 3 belts.
Yep. I love it. Tama Tonga is going to rock the shit out of that belt. Like the fucking rock star he is. And then the third match that has been announced for this card, your other IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship Tournament semifinal match. Will Ospreay versus Marty Scurll.
Not my man, but I like Marty.
Yeah.
Will's my guy. Will's the dude. So you think Will beats Marty?
I don't know.
I mean, Marty has his number.
Mm-hmm.
Marty is like the Rock to Will's the fuck beats Rock, and I lost my train of thought. Scissors. Yeah, Marty is I couldn't think of the other tool.
Marty,
like, what is going on?
Yeah, Marty is the Rock to
the Will Scissors.
In Rock's
I couldn't think of the tool.
I at first thought you were going for
the wrestler,
Dwayne the Rock.
No. I meant like rock paper scissors, but I couldn't think of the tool to complete the analogy because I am adult sometimes.
That's
my friend.
Quite all right, sir.
I am adult. Right. But Marty has his number. The weird Marty technical style, is enough to ground Will Ospreay. So, and it works. Yeah. It worked in the Super Juniors. It worked in all their matches in the United Kingdom. It just, the story they're telling here will pay off. Like, I think Will has finally beaten him last time they wrestled, but can he do it 2 in a row? We'll find out. We shall see.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a match. And either way, the finals of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship Tournament will be taking place at King of Pro Wrestling Monday, October 8th from Ryogoku Kokukigan in Tokyo. And it's going to be pretty freaking awesome, no matter who wins those 2 semifinals. You've either got Kushida or Bushi, and you've either got Will or Marty. Any one of those pairings of those 4 dudes, I'm down for. Any of them. Any one of those matches will be great. So, I'm in. I'm in for whoever is the successor to Hiromu Takahashi as the next IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And once again, as always, get well, Hiromu. We need you back soon. And I think that's it.
I think so too, my friend.
All right. So let's do the thing that we do.
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's get the plugs going first. And I'm going to start this off with actually a new plug that we're adding to the list here. A plug that I think is actually very important, and I'm disappointed that I haven't been keeping it in the list as long as it's been around. But I want to plug a new podcast that is being run by a good friend of mine, Darnell Mitchell. He runs a show called The Queer Nerds, which is a podcast with members of the LGBTQ plus community, people of color, women, and other underrepresented groups in wrestling. They just dropped episode 5 yesterday. You can find them on Twitter at The Queer Nerds, spelled with a Z instead of an S at the end. And give it a listen. Darnell is excellent, very knowledgeable, and highly opinionated, knows his shit, and is an all-around awesome guy. Highly recommended you check them out and continue to support underrepresented groups being given a voice and given participation and equal representation in wrestling, especially.
The bigger the tent, the more fun you have inside it, my friend. Never forget that.
Absolutely. Be sure to also be checking out our friend Don Sal over at Cedar Bridge Media with Match Fixing. Don Sal, very intelligent young man, knows his stuff. Always a great listen. Follow him on Twitter at Cusmano_Sal and follow Cedar Bridge Media at Cedar_Bridge to get the lowdown on match fixing whenever it happens. I got Tanya Rogers with Suplexes and Shea Butter. Oh my God. Suplexes and Shea Butter featuring Cali Girl and Miss Claudine every Wednesday night before and after major WWE events. They had an episode last night recapping Hell in a Cell, and it was quite wonderful. Well worth the listen. Follow Tanya on Twitter at Militia Malice Joe. Definitely an excellent listen every time. Suplexes and Shea Butter. Black Girl Magic for wrestling podcasting. Excellent stuff. Metal Matt bringing you, what is the name of his show?
The Friday Night Show?
Yes.
The Ruthless Aggression Podcast.
The Ruthless Aggression Podcast.
I've been on it. He's really, he knows his shit.
Yeah.
He's a great listen. I've been on it a couple times. I'm going to try to run on it again before the end of the year. We got to finalize the time. But he just goes show by show of an underrepresented era in WWE history, where the matches are really, really good. So, man, they hold up well. And a lot of good stuff on his show. He does a good job breaking them down. He's fair, yet you can still tell he's a fan, which I like. You know, it's not like you and me. It's just two bitter old curmudgeons.
We are.
We are. But Matt is fair when he needs to be, but you can still. I like when he marks out and he like, oh, this match was so good, and it's like, yeah, I like listening to that sometimes. You know.
Mm-hmm. Excellent stuff. Grounds for Development. Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate you guys spreading the word on the queer.
Oh yeah,
appreciate that. And speaking of Grounds for Development, you should also check out Grounds for Development. New show with Biff Kensington III and his co-host, whose name
the Saskatchewan Spinning Nerve Hold.
The Saskatchewan Spinning Nerve Hold, shortened for this show to Greg the Hold.
Nice.
Covering 205 Live and NXT, dropping pre-recorded episodes every Thursday morning. They have a top 5 power rankings for 205 Live and NXT and lots of other great analysis on the up-and-coming stars of the brands. Definitely check them out. Well worth the time. Well worth the listen. Saturday mornings, Shooting Debris with Taker's Minion and Mr. Dr. Senju. Our brothers. Godfather Takers and our brother, Mr. Dr. Senju. Our brethren in Los Ingobernables Day podcast. Bringing you the greatest weekend wrestling content. Get your breakfast, get your graps. Get your weekend started off right with Shooting Debris. Follow them on Twitter, please, at Shootin' Da Breeze 1. That's Shootin' Da BREEZ 1. And you can also follow them on their personal Twitters at Takers_Minion and at MRDR Senju. And let me also make sure I plug Biff Kensington's personal Twitter as well. He is at Real Deal Biff. Easy find. And definitely worth the follow. And I believe Grounds for Development also has their own Twitter page as well, which is Grounds for Devi 1. That's Grounds for DEVE 1, the number 1. And finally, we have George's second show. Yes, I'm going to call it the second show for as long as I can.
Hey.
Connoisseurs of Wrestling, George, talk to us about you.
We're finishing the draft Monday, and then the Monday after that, since it's the first Monday of the month, we'll be inducting someone into the Hall of Fame. First Monday of the month, we induct people into the Hall of Fame. But we're finishing our draft, and it's going to be a lot of fun. At least 10, maybe 15 rounds. We got to hash it out. But if it's anything like the first episode, y'all should give us a listen. And we try to make the past come alive. That's what we do on this show. We talk about the past in a way to make it relevant to the present.
Yes. Oh, I actually got Biff's Twitter handle wrong. It's actually Real Dill Biff is what it is. My mistake.
Like the pickle.
Yes, like the pickle. Yes. Got to make sure we get that right. Real Dill Biff. Yes. So where can they find the connoisseurs on social media?
At Connoisseurs of is our show feed. We are on Monday nights, 8, 7 Central. I didn't plug it enough. I should plug it more like last time where I plugged it the entire time.
Yeah.
Monday nights, 8. Yeah, Monday nights, 8, 7 Central. and it's Taker's minion, Legends lover, Mr. Biff, and myself, the four of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a show I really like it because it's so much different than what you and I do that it lets me just kind of exercise other parts of my wrestling brain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
get that history knowledge in.
Yeah, you got you're the upper body workout and they're the lower body workout, you know? It's all part of a whole.
Yes, indeed.
And I hope you all give us a listen.
Yes, absolutely. Finish up that fantasy draft and then
we're gonna start our own.
Yes, again, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we are off next week, as George and I will both be out of town. But be sure to come on back in 2 weeks, October 4th. We will start the modern era fantasy draft, and we will be talking all about the modern era draft that we are going to be doing with our friends Don Sal and Mr. Dr. Senju. It's going to be an awesome time. We're looking forward to having you guys all there and bantering with us as we make our picks and go through our draft boards. And draft boards inevitably get blown up, and everybody has to scramble to find new stuff. It's going to be an awesome time. So, guys, please make sure you come on back when it comes time for the draft in 2 weeks, and we hope that you will manage to survive without us for our 1 week off. Shouldn't be too hard. You can follow us on Twitter, of course, at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle. Follow our personal Twitters as well, at crazychris576 and at g@savas. And feel free to banter with us on any of our accounts. Talk with us about wrestling, about professional sports, video games, music, real life, whatever you guys got going on.
I had a cool conversation with a guy today about Woodrow Wilson's wife.
Nice.
So that's how variety. That's how we spray to all fields on my Twitter feed.
Yeah, you got the history bits as well. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So come and hang out with us on our Twitters and on the social media. We'd love to have you. And of course, find us on iTunes as well. Follow the link in the description below the video. Go on over to iTunes. Give us a rating. Give us a recommendation. Subscribe. Show us some love. And, of course, also subscribe to us here on YouTube as well so you guys get the notifications of when we go live Thursday nights, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And be sure to bring all of your friends within the wrestling sphere to come and listen to us because we love having you guys all here in the chat, hanging out, and we love to talk with you guys as the show goes on. Makes the show infinitely better when we get you guys participating. Last but not least, of course, if you are looking for any non-wrestling content to connect with us on, you can go on over to my Twitch page, twitch.tv/crazychris576, and give it a follow. And come hang out with me Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We are back in the Borderlands 2 universe and having an awesome time with it. Glad to be back in there. It's been almost 5 weeks off, and it's good to be back. And again, if you guys are able, Saturday, October 6th, my 1-year stream anniversary. We're going to be streaming for at least 12 hours that day, if not longer. I hope you guys can come by and hang out. There's going to be giveaways and contests.
What day is that again?
Saturday, October 6th.
Okay, I'll be back by then. Okay, good.
Yes. There will be giveaways and contests and special content unlocks. I might even make a speech at some point. Who knows? All sorts of fun stuff happening. So if you guys can make it on by Saturday, October 6th, I'd love to see you there. Celebrate 1 year of me being on Twitch. It's been a wild ride, and it looks to only get better from here. Again, that's twitch.tv/crazychris576. And I believe that's it. Did I miss anything?
You did Sal. You did my show. You did Taker's Minion show. You did Metal Matt.
Anya.
I think that's everybody.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. George, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, a sincere thank you for listening to us and hanging out with us in the chat. If you haven't yet, give us a little thumbs up on YouTube. Give us some stars on iTunes. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like Chris said. We appreciate it. It keeps us at the top of the charts as much as we can. Mm-hmm. You know, iTunes has this weird-ass, funky-ass algorithm, and we have to just keep feeding the beast, you know? So we appreciate any help that you can contribute to that endeavor.
Yes.
As always, be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Don't work yourselves into a shoot. Thank you for starting your weekend with us. That's Chris. I'm George. This is 2 Guys, 1 Sport. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks' time for the modern draft.
Episode 75 is in the books.